Good morning, everybody. My name is Keevon Minors. I'm the lead for the housing section of Bermuda Is Love. I'm here interviewing Keishen Bean for our campaign month, Bermuda Is Home. We are going to be learning more about social housing and how we can get involved.
My name is Keishen Bean, the Supervising Case Manager here at home. Social housing is what we do. Social housing is a right, and each individual should have access to social housing. Here at home, we have all different types of housing, social housing situations, but today we're here to talk specifically about Black Circle.
All right, so today we're here at Black Circle. Come with me as we take a look at social housing.
Hey, welcome. Welcome to Black Circle. All right, so welcome to Black Circle. This is where the magic happens. Again, social housing is a right? Everyone should have access to social housing, and that's what we have right here at Black Circle. Black Circle is what you consider housing first. Most programs, they would want you to address maybe some substance use first, or maybe some trauma, maybe some abuse. Here at home, we do housing first. That means once you come into our program, you do an intake, and our most important thing is our clients, is our tenants. So what we look to do is get you calm, get you settled, get you in your bed, get you in your room. And from there, that's when all the rest of the case management takes place.
So what do you guys do specifically to sort of help service your clientele?
So housing is a journey, right? It's not a destination. So each case is complex, and each case is very much unique. So what I mean is you have some individuals who might come here and might need substance use treatment, or might need support addressing their trauma, for example. They will get the necessary supports that they need. We're obviously in the kitchen right now, so cooking is another important component to what we do. The idea is that once individuals leave our program, we want them to be able to sustainably end their homelessness, right? We would love for them to be housed, ideally for the rest of their life. So cooking is one of those skills that we like to teach them while they're here, so that once they transition to their next spot, things such as cooking are no longer an issue.
So what are the specific challenges that the homeless face?
Wow, there's a lot of challenges. But what I would start with is something that resonates with all of us, and that's the housing crisis. The price of a one-bedroom apartment right now is averaging at $2,000, and if you don't have a dual income household, how does one pay for that, right? So there are so many challenges when it comes to homelessness. Sometimes accessing services on a timely basis, right? You might have someone who might be ready to address their addictions, for example. And if they cannot get to services today, right now, then that can hinder their progress. So there are many challenges that we face. Another challenge that I can think about is access to financial assistance. Something that some people might not know is that in order to qualify for financial assistance, you have to have a place of abode, okay? You have to have a place to live. Well, the most vulnerable people who might need financial assistance the most actually don't have a place to live. So there are a lot of different challenges that we all face with, but here at home, we're slowly but surely knocking each and every challenge down.
So what's the future vision for a home looking like?
Wow. Okay. So as we discussed earlier, homelessness has many different subsections, right? You have, individuals who, again, are coming out of institutions. You have individuals who are relocating, maybe coming from overseas back to Bermuda. You have women and children. We have men. We have so many different subsections of homelessness, and that is our goal. Our goal is to be able to tackle and support each and every subsection. It is a very great, a big goal, and sometimes we wonder how is this going to happen. But ending homelessness is our priority, and the idea is that in the future we would like to be able to support each and every subsection. Now, when we say ending homelessness, I know a lot of people are thinking that's very unrealistic, right? You have homelessness everywhere in each jurisdiction throughout the world. But what we mean is that when an individual is ready for support, these services should be there. There are going to be individuals who very well would like to stay homeless, unfortunately. But again, once they are ready, once they say, okay, I'm had enough and I'm ready to come inside, we want to ensure that there are options for those individuals, and that's what we mean by ending homelessness.
So what are some misconceptions that people normally have about the homeless?
Very good question. As you can imagine, in my line of work, we will often get individuals who believe that homeless people are lazy or have no drive or, again, just lazy. And the more we do work, the more we understand homelessness, the more we have an understanding of that's not always the case. There might be a small percentage of individuals who might be quote unquote lazy, but for the most part, you have to understand that homelessness actually starts in the mind. And once you understand that notion, that'll help you to further be able to support this population. Oftentimes, these individuals have been displaced, right? Displaced from family, displaced from friends. Maybe substance use brings up some form of shame. There are so many different reasons as to why an individual will become homeless. And then those things exacerbate themselves, right? So then you get depression, you get anxiety, and you get this big concoction of feelings and emotions. And again, homelessness is a lot deeper than just me wanting to get out, right? Or me just being lazy. Homelessness, from my perspective, it again starts in the mind and it permeates through your entire being.
So what do you do to help change that mindset? And what can we do to help them?
Very good question yet again. So as a case manager, I am continuously setting short-term goals for these individuals, giving them a sense of purpose and trying to get them back to a sense of community, right? A lot of these individuals have, again, lost that sense of community. They try to stay on the outskirts of community. They don't want to get a job. They don't want to partake in the regular things that we will partake in. So again, it's about setting short-term goals, getting them back into the community, getting them back working and feeling a sense of purpose. And again, in order for an individual to sustainably end his homelessness, it's important that we address those traumas and that we address a lot of those childhood traumas that they might have been experiencing in an effort to then support them long term. Now, what can the public do to support us? Another very good question. And this is going to sound a little crazy, but when that individual on the street comes to you and he asks you for $2 and he asks you for $5, instead of giving them money, it's probably best that you direct them to home services. We have food, we have water, we have shelter, we have all the necessities. But what we find is that when individuals continue to support those needs, it delays their need for support, right? The longer they go, getting support from the community, getting money from the community, being able to make it day by day, getting their food, getting their needs met, is very difficult for them to engage in services. So for anyone in the community, I would really encourage them to have that conversation with that homeless individual, right? No, I'm not giving you any money. However, I do know a service that can support you holistically, and that's us.
Are there any places other than Black Circle where individuals could get help?
Absolutely. Again, we have different properties throughout the island that are dedicated to different subsections of homelessness. So we do have a location on Parsons Road, number 28 Parsons Road. That property is actually called Sankofa, and there we support women and children, right? So we're trying to rekindle that family unit. In St. David's, we also have another property called Yellow Rose. That property is dedicated again to men who just need a little bit more support. So these are individuals who have come through the Black Circle program, but as we talked about earlier, there's not always apartments readily available. So that program gives us an opportunity to work with individuals for a little bit longer to help to stabilize them so that when they do transition, they're fully prepared and fully ready. We also have another property coming online, hopefully in the next 2 months or so, and that's called Astor House. I don't have a lot of information about Astor House yet, but stay tuned.